Now Nick Kissel and Nicole Butchman will be coming up, telling us about their G period experience.
Hi, I'm Nicole Butchman, and I'm going to tell you about the quilt we made for our G period class. We chose different colors. We didn't choose the natural colors. We chose more like young, vibrant colors like the pinks and the greens, because we wanted it to go we wanted the quilt to go to a like a child or a children's center, and so we chose like younger colors, and our quilt was going to be smaller because our class has a smaller amount of kids in it. In the beginning of our project, we like heard about it from Miss Ferguson because she showed us her quilt, and we were like, that's a whole bunch of high school kids is gonna make a quilt and it's gonna come out nice. And all right, yeah, sure. And we started making it. It started coming out nice. Everyone got their squares together, and it took a while for us to actually see the end result because they had to put the background pattern on it so it all stayed together. And once she brought it in, we all saw it, and we were like, wow, we are amazed. We were amazed by the end result, by our project, and just seeing a quilt made by a whole bunch of high school students was just like, oh my gosh, like, we made that. Like, it was unbelievable. We were so proud of ourselves. But by the end of it hanging in our library for a good week or so, we were like, we had to figure out who we were going to give it to. And then we decided that we were going to give it to Nick's cousin. So I'm going to introduce Nick Kissel, who's going to tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi, I'm Nick Kissel. I just wanted to explain Ms. Jagir's G period English class is we're donating our quilt. My cousin is, we were just originally actually going to leave it in the library until we found the right person to donate it to. And then I mentioned to Ms. Jagir that I have a cousin that's 6 years old, and her name's Rebecca, and she was just diagnosed with leukemia. So we decided we were going to donate it to her. And we took a class vote, and it was pretty unanimous that everybody wanted to give it to her, so we decided we were going to give it to her. So, and it fits her good because it's like pink and very small, so.
Well, that's great. You guys should be very, very proud of yourselves, all of you. I know we sure are. You guys do some great things, and we thank you for that. Is there any questions from the board for our guests?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to call up Riley?
Oh, yeah. And we're going to have Riley talk, so here's Riley Bartlett.
Well, I'm sorry. Come on up, Riley.
Hi.
Hi.
My connection to the quilt is that my mother and aunt were both diagnosed with breast cancer. My mom had to go through surgery, then radiation about a year ago. But my aunt's cancer was stage 2 and had to go through chemotherapy too, about 7 years ago. And it was very hard for me and my family to go through that, especially with my mom's cancer. I think this quilt is going to someone who needs it in their time of need. When I found out we were giving it to Rebecca, I was very excited because I don't think a 6-year-old should have to go through this cancer. So thank you very much for having and giving us an opportunity to show us our work.
Well, no, thank you for coming. You have no idea what it means to us, so. Any questions? Comments from the board?
Each time I see a group of students come here, they outdo the next group of students. And this is tremendous what you guys have done. And I have to admit, you moved me with the last speech that you told me. I'm a little choked up about that, and I agree. I don't think a 6-year-old should have to go through that. And I think it's just wonderful that the class voted to give her it, to show the love of the class to her and wish her well in her fight as she goes on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
I just wanted to let the board know that Rebecca's father wanted to be here this evening to accept the quilt in front of the board. Unfortunately, he couldn't be present, so we will be turning the quilt over and it will go to her family. So once again, thank you very much for giving my students the opportunity to show you the tremendous work that they've done. And for anyone who didn't know, Carolyn Ferguson is a guidance counselor at the high school, and she gave us many, many hours of her service, as did Deb Pullman, who is my educational assistant. So these two women deserve kudos because the kids were gracious and did not mention that I cannot sew. So this is just yet another example of a project that I come up with, and as I said to you earlier, you know, they're a fabulous group of kids and they trusted me on this one, and I'm amazed myself at the results because they did a fabulous job. So thank you again for having us this evening.
Thank you, Kelly.
One positive thing is she can make lines. Very helpful.
I don't see
He's not here.
Representative Hess. Okay.
He's not here. Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
move the consent agenda.